as you can see, today we will be talking about automation of AP and basically how it integrates AI technology that can be integrated with your ERP system. So let's begin. Okay, so for today's agenda, I'll explain what an ERP system does and how it works, and then I'll explain about AP automation, how the two can be integrated together. From there, we'll dive into the different AP automation functions, including talking about Continia, which will be the AP automation software that I will be demonstrating today. Then I will dive into an AP automation case study, kind of talking briefly about a project that we worked on just to give you an idea of what to expect when an AP automation software is installed and implemented into your ERP system. And from there, I will do a demonstration of Continia and show you how it works to give you a better visualization to understand what exactly it is I'm presenting and talking about here today. And then finally, to wrap everything up, we will have a Q&A session. So if anyone has any questions, like Tensei said, feel free to shoot them in the chat box and we will answer them to the best of our ability. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so ERP systems and AP automation. So for those of you who don't know what ERP stands for, it stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. An ERP system is essentially the core business system that has accounting functions for sales, purchasing, inventory handling, and production management. AP automation is a tool used as part of ERP's accounts payable management function to help automate accounts payable operations, which is something we'll be seeing in today's demonstration. When looking at the diagram below, we can see the different financial modules that are included in an ERP system. Things that pertain to general accounting, things like fixed asset modules, AR, you have accounts payable, and just your typical bank management functions, along with budgeting tools that are integrated within an ERP system, such as Business Central, which is what we will be looking at today. And AP automation tools can be integrated within an existing ERP system to help accounting departments streamline their manual work process more into an automated process that can reduce their workload and help them save time when it comes to things like manual data entry. So here's just a diagram to kind of give you the scope of what's inside an ERP system. And then at the bottom, you can kind of see how AP automation can be integrated to help you streamline these different modules all together. So let's continue. So let's dive into the operation flow of how AP automation works. AP automation includes various automation support functions, such as automatic registration for vendor invoices. It allows for three-way matching, implementing automatic activation of approval workflow, and it can also streamline automation of payment remittance. Automatic invoice registration uses a character recognition function called OCR, which stands for optical character recognition. To give you a better visual of what I just explained, you can see the steps below in the slide shown here. So let's say, a vendor sends you an invoice. The OCR technology then reads and picks up the necessary information needed to automatically create and register your invoice for you. A three-way match can then be implemented to retrieve, purchase order information that exists within your ERP system. With OCR capability, AP automation tools can retrieve the goods that have already been received on, let's say, a purchase order, and an invoice can then be registered and created to include the items that are on that purchase order that exists in your ERP systems. and it'll include things like the items, prices, unit of measures, anything that pertains to the PO itself within the ERP system that you utilize. From there, AP automation tools allow for you to set up approval workflows based on the contents that are found on the invoice that's being sent to you, and basically you importing into one of your AP automation softwares. And then finally, you can use the AP automation tools to complete payments electronically. So this just kind of gives you a flow step-by-step of what it can do to help you reduce that manual labor. So let's continue. So before we dive into what exactly OCR means, as I explained in the last slide, to give you a better understanding, it stands for optical character recognition. So it is a feature that allows a system to automatically recognize information on a document itself or a file. So basically like a piece of paper that can get scanned in, or a PDF document that gets emailed to you. OCR can physically pick up and read the characters that are found on a document itself, which I'll be showing you guys today in this demo. So basically, if you kind of think of an application that allows you to take a picture of a check with your cell phone, allows you to deposit it into your bank account. This uses the same exact technology. So what it's doing is it's physically retrieving the text characters that are found on a paper or a document, such as a PDF. So let's continue. So here, I'll just explain a couple of benefits of using AP automation software. To start, the technical hurdles of implementing an AP automation tool or software are very low and aren't very hard or complicated to install or really learn how to use. It's very user-friendly, and most companies are already utilizing some kind of AP automation technology in their business process, and they may not even know it. So cost is a big one. So cost is a benefit because, it allows you to automate your work process and can curb labor costs for a business. Work quality allows for improvement of business quality by reducing input errors, meaning that there is less margin for errors during data extraction. So when someone has to input the data manually by punching everything in themselves, kind of reduces those errors for you. So work quality is a big one. And then finally, work speed, which can allow you to increase productivity because it can help you eliminate manually having to punch in invoice data every single time you receive an invoice. And, you have to document that information in your ERP system. This can help speed things up for a business. So we'll go to the next slide. AP automation function introduction. So this is where I'll kind of dive into the AP automation software that I'll be demonstrating today and talking a little bit about more, which will be Continia. So AP automation solutions can be integrated with already existing ERP systems. That being said, it is not something that has to be implemented at the beginning stages of integrating an ERP system for a business. On this slide, I provided a handful of different solutions to give you an idea of what's out there right now in the workspace for AP automation software. All of these solutions are AP automation applications that can help a business's work process more automated and kind of streamlining and eliminating that manual work. They can be found in Microsoft's Marketplace store and are all integrated to work with Microsoft products. So as you can see here, there's just some different solutions that I put on here. But what we're going to be looking at today is Continia. So today, I'll dive into one of the AP automation tools that we have been selling and implementing to our customers who have existing ERP systems. The name of that solution, as I said earlier, is Continia Document Capture. Document Capture is a business automation solution that utilizes OCR and AI technologies. It can be implemented and installed as an add-on application to a business central environment. It allows for importing invoices, orders, and many different kind of documents that are then automatically registered as invoices or orders within a business central environment. And this is kind of what I'll be walking through and demoing today here in this webinar. So let's move forward. So Continia's document capture functions help automate the receipts of vendor invoices by scanning or emailing your documents into the ERP system. From there, document capture then imports the digital document based off of the configurations that are already preset. Continia then reads and extracts the information from the document, and it inputs that information into your ERP system automatically. So you don't have to punch in things manually every time they come in. By training the system repeatedly on where to retrieve the information from the document that's being scanned or imported through Continia's document capture. For example, let's say a vendor sends an invoice. The AI capabilities built into the software allow the system to basically learn where to map that information so that the next time you scan a document from, let's say, that same vendor, it kind of already knows where to pick that information up. And we'll kind of be able to see that during the demo today. And then once you've confirmed all the information that was needed to be extracted and input into your fields, you can feel free to register the document and move on to posting the invoice or order in whatever steps you'd like. So this is kind of just basically a visualization of the document comes in, it's then imported, either scanned or a physical email comes through. You can then send it to Continia. Continia services then take care of that document by utilizing its OCR capabilities and AI technology. And then document capture allows you to, either send it through an approval workflow, post or register that document. And then lastly, the document will then fully get archived with whatever it has been posted, so that if you ever need to retrieve the physical PDF or document, it'll always be attached going forward. So it allows for easy retrieval of archived documents that have already been registered through Continia. So when you scan your invoice through document capture, an image of the loaded invoice is attached for easy comparison and confirmation with the data to be registered. And when you register the document, the PDF file then gets stored with your invoice, which I explained in the last slide, in your ERP system, so that you can always come back to that document if someone ever needed to look at it, in case they needed to see the physical information that was posted. If there is information that cannot be read accurately, you can then train or educate the system with Continia's AI function to learn where to extract information from on the next scan for, let's say, that vendor or customer. After importing a document through Continia, you can also perform a three-way match, which, let's say, an order exists in your ERP system, and let's say you have, that PO and the items have been received, and you've posted that you've received the items, and let's say you receive an invoice then from your vendor for those items that they sent you. That invoice that you scanned can then match the information from the invoice that already exists in your ERP system, which is something that I'll walk through today in today's demo. I will show you what three-way matching means to kind of give you a better visualization of that. Let's move on to the next slide. So you may be wondering, where exactly does the AI function come into play with Continia? So to give you a better understanding, when you scan in a vendor invoice, for the first time, and the information can't be read on the document right away, you can help the system learn where to retrieve the data from on the physical document itself, so that next time when you scan in an invoice for, let's say the same vendor, it will begin to learn where to extract that data from on the physical document itself. Therefore, you are physically, training the system on how and where to OCR data from on the imported document that you sent through Continia. In this diagram, let's say, I have an invoice, I scan it into the system and it doesn't know where to pick up some information from. As you can see on the left side, I then educate the system by kind of dragging over the appropriate information needed to be filled into my header fields, so that next time when I do scan the invoice, it'll kind of know where to pick that up. So you're physically training and educating Continia's document capture system by telling it where to retrieve this information from. So as you can see on the diagram, kind of show you the unknown sections. Then once you educate it, you say this is where the item information is, and this is where I need it to go. I know it's a little small here, but we'll be able to kind of have a better visualization during the demo. So then lastly, last stage, the system will know where to pick it up from. So Continia provides an approval portal. This is an optional add-on during implementation that can be installed with the application during initial setup. This gives approvers the ability to approve documents via Continia's web portal screen without physically actually, having to go into the ERP system every single time to go and approve that document. This allows for easy review and approval of invoices for, people who might be working on the go all the time, aren't always in the office, or aren't always logged into an ERP system. If they have, the URL to this web portal, they have the ability to also approve here as well. And this function is included out of the box and can be configured within the ERP system once it's been installed. Let's move forward. So here's just a list of standard functions that can be that can help meet the requirements of AP operations. So AP automation, supports not only imported expense invoices, but also POs and purchase receipts that need to be matched within an ERP system. It is equipped with AI function that helps improve accuracy. The more it is used and the more you can scan documents through the solution. Allows for three-way matching with purchase orders and receiving records. When dealing with accuracy, invoice numbers that have already been registered can be blocked, and the system will then throw an error if you try to, let's say, register the same document that's already been registered and posted. So with that being said, error handling, meaning the system will throw an error message on the screen if you miss something, or the system lets you know that it can't retrieve some kind of information. And automatic activation of approval workflows. Once approval is complete, the system will then physically create the registered document as an invoice in your ERP system, so you don't have to physically create it from scratch every time you get an invoice in from a vendor. Supplier item numbers can be automatically translated to in-house item numbers if they appear to be different on, let's say, the invoice that was sent to you from the vendor. And lastly, there's no special pre-configuration required for new suppliers. All you need to do is scan the invoice in, train the system on where to retrieve the information from, and physically register the document. And that's basically all you need to do. So let's continue. Okay, so AP automation case studies. So here I'll just dive into one of our case studies. So let me just briefly explain how the project went that we worked on for a customer that we implemented Continia for. So one of our customers who uses Business Central to keep track of their freight expenses and PO related invoices, they were kind of looking for an AP automation solution that would help them eliminate a lot of manual data entry every time they received an invoice or some kind of expense report. We then presented Continia to them, and they fell in love with it right away, and they really thought that it could help them eliminate a lot of that manual entry process that they had to do. After adding Continia to their existing Business Central environment, we were able to sit down with them and have a requirement analysis session to basically figure out what needs they're looking for and what they want. And from there, we were able to work with them and configure it to their needs. The main goal of the project was to help them obviously eliminate that manual data entry every time they received one of these kinds of documents. And they now simply import the documents via Continia by sending them to an email address. They double check the information in the header field section, train it if it needs to, if they notice any mistakes. And then from there, they post it as needed. So now that I've explained a little bit about the project that we worked on, let's move on to seeing how Continia exactly works.